Michael and Sam have just moved to Santa Carla, California. They're about to discover its secret.
Notice anything unusual about Santa Carla yet?
No. It's a pretty cool place. If you're a Martian.
Or a vampire.
So where are you? The flying nun?
I'm your brother, Sammy. Help me!
Stay back! Stay back!
What's happening to me, Star? Get yourself a good sharp steak. Drive it right through his heart.
You're a vampire, Michael. My own brother, a damn blood-sucking vampire. Oh, you wait till Mom finds out, buddy.
When a vampire buys it, it's never a pretty sight.
Michael, they're coming! Oh, shit!
What's up, YouTube? I'm back again. My name is Gillis the Kid. I'm here again with my friend Mike. We just got finished watching The Lost Boys. This movie came out in 1987, and it was directed by Joel Schumacher and Richard Donner.
Richard Donner was the executive producer who directed Superman from 1978 with Christopher Reeve, Margot Kidder, Gene Hackman, Jackie Cooper, Mark McClure. A lot of people in that one.
I don't know how many Supermans he did, but he did.
He did the first one. Now in part two, he was going to, because what happened was they were going to do a double. They were going to make it all together in one, and they did release a Superman 2 Richard Donner cut.
Okay.
And he did direct. There were some scenes in the movie that were from him.
Right.
But then I think he had a problem with one of the creators. I think the Salkinds, Alexander Salkind, I believe it was, or something. They couldn't come to agreements, so he left, and then they brought in Richard Lester. And then he did part two, and they redid a lot of. They changed some of the scenes around, and they pretty much did a whole different movie. But it's neat though. There is a version, like we said, there's Superman 2, the Richard Donner cut, and it's neat. Like I said, there's some different scenes, different storylines, and that one compared to what part two was like with from Richard Lester. So keep that in mind for you Superman fans out there. So he also did one more thing, and he also did. Don't forget, he directed The Goonies
and The Goonies,
which you figure, explains. Corey Feldman, who so they teamed up before, so obviously he probably had something to do with bringing him to team up in this one.
So this movie, in my opinion, probably one of the best 80s movies that came out. One of the 80s horror movies.
For horror movies. We were going to say for comedy with the Coreys, definitely I recommend License to Drive.
Right.
Great comedy movie, which also has Richard Mazur, who plays the father in the movie, and so you got a few people in that one. So
this movie stars Kiefer Sutherland.
All right, we all know.
Plays as David, the head. One of the leaders of the vampire.
Right. Of course, we know his history from the TV show 24.
Right.
Did a few movies as well. Did Flatliners, which also Joel Schumacher directed.
Right.
He also directed Batman Forever with Val Kilmer, Jim Carrey, Tommy Lee Jones, Chris O'Donnell, and also Batman and Robin. Batman and Robin, which in my opinion, folks, one of the worst movies I would suggest I wouldn't watch.
It's one of the worst Batman movies.
Above the sagas, right. And of course, Arnold Schwarzenegger played Mr. Freeze. Poison Ivy, of course, was played by Uma Thurman.
Right.
So, definitely don't waste your time. Batman Forever, I'm okay with that one. But,
Batman Forever slide.
Right, yeah. But Batman and Robin, please, folks, don't waste your time. So, and also, of course, he did direct Flatliners. Yeah. So, getting Kiefer Sutherland, obviously.
Again, another good movie.
Right, together, so. All right.
And then you have Diane Weiss, who plays as the mom.
Oh, she was the mother? Okay.
Yeah. And then there's, her name was Lucy.
Right.
You have Jami Gertz, who plays as Star. Yep.
Right.
And then you have Jason Patric.
Played the brother.
Michael.
Plays Michael, yep. Corey Haim's brother in the movie, who was in Speed 2, the sequel. He was in that.
All right.
And also with Corey Feldman, good movies with him as well. Like, as we said, License to Drive. He did The Goonies, and also another great comedy movie, The Burbs, with Tom Hanks. Tom Hanks. Great comedy movie. So I recommend that for you Corey Feldman fans as well.
Yeah, Corey Feldman and Corey Haim.
Well, he wasn't in The Burbs though.
Right.
He didn't do it. But yeah, as we said, both of them were in License to Drive though, and that's a great movie.
Yeah.
So.
And
one more person. We keep adding these people. Don't forget Alex Winter. Who you all know if you remember the movie Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure and Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey. And from what I heard, there will be coming out with a third one. Wow. He plays Bill S. Preston Esquire. And of course, Keanu Reeves will be coming back. Of course, he was Ted Theodore Logan. And also
I can't believe that.
I know, it's unbelievable. We probably think it's going to flop. And also, the first two also had, of course, the late George Carlin, who of course played Rufus.
Right. And Marco in this movie, he was the youngest brother, the youngest vampire brother, who was Marco.
Oh, that was his name. Yep. That was Alex Winter's name's Marco. Okay.
But this movie, basically, it starts off like it was like a carnival.
Right,
and
you just see them. Right, you just see them like hanging around, crashing the merry-go-round and stuff. Yeah. Just telling the one cop. Right, opens up with the cop saying, "Told you guys to leave. Yeah. Or, don't come back here anymore." Right. And then you see him. Right, which eventually, of course, you see him getting into his car, and you don't actually see them. You see them like. Yeah. On top, flying by.
Yeah, you don't see
them.
You don't see them fly.
Right,
you see the camera,
following him, and then because then he looks up, he runs, and his door is locked. Like God forbid, he get his key out or something instead, or punch a hole in the wall.
The carnival security guard was the first one to get killed.
Right, you see him dying. You even see later on too. I think they have a missing sign for him too. So I don't think I've ever found out that he died.
Well, they had missing signs for like
a lot of people. Yeah. Star, which we'll get to also. Star's son.
Yeah,
I think they had.
Yeah, he was on the milk.
He was on the milk cart. Remember that? Well, yeah, we find that out later too. Yeah. So.
And they're basically coming from Phoenix, Arizona.
Right.
His mom got divorced, and they're coming to live with their grandpa.
Right.
To Santa Carla, the murder capital of the world. Which is in California.
Right. That's where we see Corey Haim and Jason Patric for the first time as well. That's when they go to a concert, right?
Yeah, they were at the carnival.
Oh, it was the carnival. Okay.
And Michael, he was looking for the job.
Right, and that's where eventually he saw Star.
Yeah.
That's when he was in his little trance. Yeah. He was like staring at her. Oh my God! For a few minutes or so, took off. Well, she took off first, and he started to follow her. Yeah. Then his brother came over. He's like, "Michael, where are you going? You're following that girl, aren't you?"
And then Corey Haim, he goes into the comic book shop.
Right, and that's where we meet
the Frog Brothers.
The Frog Brothers, Edgar and Alan Frog. Yep. Edgar was Corey, and Alan was what's his name?
Edgar. Edgar and
No, I know that. No, I'm no, I know Edgar was Corey, but what was who played that? What was the real actor who played Alan?
Oh, I forgot. I never knew his name.
Yeah, we'll just say he's one of those actors that are maybe not been around too much, but I'm sure we'll have that in the description down in there as well. So yeah, so he meets them for the first time. Yeah. He was looking at the comic. First he was looking at the Superman section and all that.
Superman comic.
Right. Yeah. And then that's when he came over to him and started talking to him.
Which was a reference to Richard Donner.
That's right. You think of it. That's right, because he was the executive producer, right?
Yeah, so the Superman 98s with the 100s because they haven't discovered red kryptonite yet.
Yeah, remember even Corey Feldman said to Corey Haim, he was like, "Are you from Krypton?"
Yeah. How you know all this? Were you from Krypton?
From Krypton. And that's when he gave him the book. Here, read this book. It was the book about vampires and all that, how they killed them and all.
He didn't like horror comics, so
that's what he
sort of was like, I'm not into that.
Right. So then we get back to Jason Patric, who kept following Star, and eventually ends up meeting the vampires. Mm-hmm. They were about to leave, and he got his, and then they told him to.
He was going to take Star out to get something to eat.
Right. He talked to him. They came over.
That's where you see Kiefer Sutherland and the other.
And the guys come over, right? That's what I said. Star, come on, let's go. Yeah, that's what I told him. Why don't you ride with us?
You want to ride?
Want to ride with us? It's not a matter of who wins. Yeah. Just keeping up with us.
I can't keep up with your bike, man.
Yeah, it's not.
You don't have to keep up.
Just he said something.
You don't have to beat me.
You don't have to beat me. Just keep up. You don't have to beat me. Yeah. Just keep up. Yeah, they took off.
On the dirt bike.
That's when they were going, like little kids.
And at the same time this was happening, the mother, she met Max.
We'll get to him. Yeah, right. We'll get to him. We'll get to him as it draws towards the end. Yep. Yeah. Right. They in the
go out
store
toward the cliff.
Right. They go to the cliff.
They're riding the dirt bikes, and then because David he knew there was a cliff there.
Right. That's why. Right. Because he jumped off. Didn't he jump off? That's right. Because he jumped off the motorcycle.
Yeah.
That's why. Yeah. That's why.
Punches him in the face.
Right.
Yeah. Just you, man.
That's right. Yeah. He wanted to fight him. Yeah.
And that's when David takes him to the cave.
Right, the hideout, or basically the coffins. Basically, that's what it was. The coffins.
It was like it used to be a hotel,
right? And
then there was an earthquake, and it fell like beneath the ground.
Right, because that's when he was telling him the story, and as we said, and now it's ours.
Yeah, they just made it into a hideout.
Right, that's when they were getting ready to eat. And apparently, Jason Patric, he had
Chinese
a thing.
food.
Well, that's what he said. Right, it was a Chinese food. But it's like some reason he kept. What was he? He was like hallucinating or something, or they did it to him.
So what I watched this movie a couple of times, and the only thing that I came up with was like, he was basically like hypnotizing him.
Okay.
So.
Right. First, he gave him the rice.
Yeah.
That's when he said, "There's maggots in there."
Yeah.
And because he did see the maggots.
Right.
Of course, he started throwing up. And then it was back to the rice again. Yeah. Then he gave him the noodles and had worms. The lemonade, right? Had worms in it. Then it was back. Yeah, it was back to the noodles
he had
again.
some type of hallucinating powers where he can just make him seem like it was maggot.
Right.
You know, because he didn't bite him or anything, and that was before he drank the wine.
Right. So, eventually, he got to because that's when he said. Then eventually he did, and that's when he said,
That's when Star was like, don't drink it. It's blood, and he was like, yeah, right.
And he still drank it.
So they sort of tricked him by making him, see the rice as
right.
Yeah,
and that's when when David drank it. When Jason Patric drank it, David says, "Become one of us.
Yeah,
join us."
Yeah, and after that, I believe they went to the rail. It was the train tracks.
Right. Right. That's where. That's when they were all jumping. Yeah, because they all jumped and they held on to the underneath the tracks.
Right.
And they made him do it, which eventually Jason Patric he did do it. So the train was coming by.
It was shaking so bad, like he just had to.
And then the vampires. That's when they all let go. And then eventually David was telling them, "Let go, man. Let it go. You're one of us."
He didn't know what they meant, so he was like,
he took forever, right? Because he was still like waiting. Finally, he was like, he finally jumped down. Jeez. Remember he did. Remember, but then he ended up. Ended up back in his room. I don't know if. Remember that?
I guess they took him back.
Yeah, because as he fell, remember, and then it just fades. It just fades with him getting in bed.
Yeah.
And then then his brother comes in, and you're like, Michael, what happened? What are you doing? Mom's on the phone.
Yeah.
And that's when he put the sunglasses. Didn't he put the sunglasses on? Was that the first time he put the sunglasses on?
The sun was like hurting his eyes.
That's when he was starting to get the vampire effect.
I like when the grandpa was like, "Yeah, don't touch my stuff on the second shelf."
On the refrigerator, all the food, right.
Yeah, he always had dates too. Like he would always like get dressed up and go out.
Right. Jeez.
So they get settled into the house, and then after his first encounter with David, he drank the blood and stuff. Then he started acting funny.
Right. That's when eventually Corey Haim called the brother. The vampire killer. Well, technically they're vampire killers. You find out who they were. Yeah, because remember that's when you were talking to him. That's when he was asking all these questions. Remember, like, how long's he been asleep? Is he
They were trying to ask questions to see if he was a vampire.
Right. He asked him about the sunlight or something. I forget what he said. What about the sunlight? How's it?
Yeah.
And that's when he said, he's a vampire.
Yeah, he must be a vampire.
Yeah, he must be. He's a vampire. All right.
Well, the first time the mom went on a date,
Right, with Max.
That's when he woke up, he was like in the ceiling, like he was hanging outside.
Oh, right. Yeah, that's right. But that's when he's outside the window, right? That's what she called him. Right? Yeah, that's
So
when
she left. She didn't even go on a date that time. Like she was waiting.
She was. Well, he was there. He was there. I don't know if he ever. I don't even know if they saw each other yet. Right. But then she ran. She got back in the car. He's like drinking his wine or something. Yeah. I guess he was looking. He was like, where's he going?
Yeah. So she left Max.
Yeah, he was. I was gonna say Max was by himself. Got stood.
She went home, and then that's when they were like, he was like, I was just reading a comic and I got scared. She's
right.
Like, really?
And the thing is, we were talking, and remember we were talking about how she was in bed, and like at the time, well, at first, I mean, eventually they see each other again, but she didn't like call her, explain like what.
Show her calling.
Yeah, why she left him and all that. Right.
Jeez. So then the next day, she actually takes the wine to his house, and she's like, well, I'm gonna drop the bottle at his door because somebody will take it, and that's when his dog comes out.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
He's reading a comic, The Hounds of Hell.
Right. What was the dog's name? Thorn, was it?
Thorn.
That's it. Yeah. This is the mother, right?
Yeah.
When the mother attacked,
Lucy.
That's right. Cause she was about to jump over the fence, and then the dog bit or screwed off, or part of her screwed off, came off. Jeez.
So then, that's when Sam goes back to the Frog Brothers and is like, well, this guy must be a vampire. Mm. Like he never comes to the video store in the daytime because his mom, Max hired his mom to work in the video store in the daytime. Like you never saw him until night.
Right.
And he was like, the dog that attacked my mom was his. So that's when they had the second dinner.
Right, that's when he came to their house.
Right.
And that's when he invited
Michael invited Max in.
Oh, that's right.
Because a vampire cannot come into your house unless you invite him in.
Oh, that's why he said that. He's like, well, I'm not gonna. Yeah, right. Because remember he said, I'm not gonna come in unless you invite me.
You're the man in the house.
I'm not coming in until you invite me in. Yeah. All right. Come in.
You're invited.
You're invited, yeah. And he came in, and that's when Corey Haim invited Edgar. Right, the Frog Brothers came over. And that's when they all sat at the table. Yeah. They were like at first they were all like quiet looking. That's when they started testing him as they were eating. Yeah. They gave him what they did. They gave him garlic, the garlic and the Parmesan. The Parmesan, yeah, he started. Yeah, he gave him that. Then they splashed the water on him.
Supposedly, water is like acid to vampires.
Right.
I've never really known about that until I played Legacy of Kain Soul Reaver.
Oh, really?
I did a walkthrough on that, but until I played that game, I didn't realize water was like acid to vampires.
Okay.
But supposedly it is.
Okay. I remember too, just going back with the Frog Brothers. Remember too when they were talking when they were talking on the phone to Corey Haim. Remember that time? You grab a steak and put it through his heart. Yeah. I forget. I thought that was funny. He was like, no, that's my brother. I'm not going to kill my brother. Yeah. So, anyway, yeah, back to the dinner scene. Yeah, that was funny. And then, it's like, I'm going to leave now. Yeah. Jeez. We're sorry.
Next time you come to my place.
Is that what he said?
And I'll cook.
I'll cook. Yeah. Jeez. So that was the dinner date. Ruined by the Frog Brothers.
And then, let me see, Michael, he went back to the cave.
Right, because he was going to go, because they weren't there at the time. Yeah. And that's when him and Star made out.
Yeah. He looked at his hand because
the
dog had bit him.
And
Nanook was their dog name, and the dog bit his hand and it healed.
I was about to say, right, because remember because he took the bandage off. Remember there was no scar or nothing, or it was clean. It was clean. So yeah, that's when he was finally starting to catch on. He's turning into a vampire.
And then that's when Star came to the house, and
that's when Corey got scared.
Is she one of us? And then she flies up in the window.
Yeah, she's one of us. He gets under the sheets. He was all scared.
But she tells Michael that he's like her and Laddie, like they're like half vampires,
right?
And they don't become full vampires until they make their first kill.
Oh, okay.
So.
That was funny.
And she tells him, I'm getting, it's becoming harder for me each day. And she was like, I came here so you can help us. But, didn't they come past the house too? With the dirt bikes?
I think, yeah, you're right. Because, because they were driving by, because they looked out the window. Yeah, they were driving by. That's right. That was the one scene. Right. I don't think they didn't do nothing though.
They wanted him to be part of the gang.
Right.
And then that's when they took him out to that tree where that party was. It was like a gang out there.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that's right. He did leave. That's right. He did go back out with them. Right. And that's when they killed everybody.
The initiation is over, Michael. Now you know what we are. Now you know what you are.
Right, because they started, that's when they were playing Walk This Way, Walk This Way, Aerosmith. Yeah, and then that's when they killed everybody.
And that's when Michael finally was like, okay, enough is enough. I'm going to go get Star, and we're gonna get the hell out of here. And then that's when Sam was like, I got a plan.
Okay.
So that's when he called the Frog Brothers up, and he was like, yeah, we gotta eliminate these guys. Because they borrowed the grandfather's car.
That's right. That's when they were getting ready, right?
Yeah.
They took the car. They went to the church. They grabbed the holy water. Yeah, they were getting they were getting everything all prepared. They had that's when they put all the garlic in the tub with the holy water. Yeah, it almost kind of reminds you too. It almost reminds you of Home Alone. With the booby traps all over the house. The cars in the living room and all that. The blowtorch when Joe Pesci got his head burned. That's what basically what it was. It was turning into a Home Alone movie with all the
because they went
traps.
to the cave.
Right.
And they got Star and Laddie.
Oh yeah.
And then that's when
that's right. First they went to kid. They were sleeping.
Yeah.
Because remember that's when they killed Marco.
Yeah, they killed Marco.
That's when Corey. Right. That's when Corey Feldman went.
It's a dead end.
Well, it's time to kill these bloodsuckers. Yeah. That's right. They killed Marco. That's right. Because they killed him. Then he woke up, and then they chased. He died. Well, Marco did die. And then they all went back. Right. And that's basically led back to the house.
Right.
And that's when they all. That's where.
They went back to sleep. Okay. And then they woke back up, and that's when David and the other brothers went back to the house.
Right. They were getting ready to. So the chase was on.
Yeah. And
so anyway, so they get to the house, and then the scene, the final scene begins.
Right.
And all three of them get in the house, and are getting ready to fight.
Oh yeah, they went to. So they locked the windows and stuff.
Right. They pretty much tried to barricade everything at first. And they were ready, they had as you said, and they had the stakes too, right? Then they had the stakes. It was kind of like an archery. They had the stakes. They had the bow. It was like a bow and arrow.
And they told the grandfather,
what did they say? Yeah.
Oh, they was like
to leave the house. Yeah.
Yeah, they were like, you got a date tonight. She called, so pick her up at 7:30. And
right. That's when he left. Right. That's when he left, and that's when they locked. Yeah. That's when they started barricading everything up.
Right.
Even though the vampires they eventually still got in the house though.
And then so after that, the funny thing is the mom she always worked nights, so she never experienced none of this.
She wasn't around the house, right? Until I think finally towards we'll get to that at the end when she finally comes home. Yeah. So technically we're down to 3 vampires.
Before they came, they had to rescue the dog because someone tied the dog to the gate. Okay. And then that's when you see
him fly
through the
right. Yeah, that's right. Because first Corey Haim, he ran first, and they're like, where are you going, Sammy, come back, And then Michael ran.
Who was the first vampire that died?
That was Marco, Alex Winter.
Yeah. But when they came to the house,
there was just 3 of them.
Oh, the guy upstairs in the bathtub.
Right, eventually he was the second one.
You killed Marco.
Right, I was like, you killed Marco. Yeah, you killed Marco. Then that's when I think they shot the stakes at him.
Yeah.
Eventually, I think they splashed. Didn't they splash the water on him too? And he said
he took
didn't
the
work or
water
something.
and splashed. it
Yeah,
in
and he
his
says
face.
not working or something like that, or not working. No, not working, suckers.
Yeah.
Yeah, not working, suckers. Then then eventually he fell into the tub.
The dog
jumped
yeah.
him. Right, the dog. Yeah, he picked him up, and then he fell into the tub with all the garlic. And then finally he started he started steaming acid,
Right.
and then he finally
Boiled
died.
to death.
Pretty much, right. so then he finally died.
Yeah.
And then you get down to 2.
The other one.
That's what
The other one, Corey
Haim was the hero. Yeah, he was the hero
bow
with
and
that
arrow.
with the bow and arrow. And eventually, I think he said you missed or something.
You missed.
You missed.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think he said
Only once, pal.
He's only once, pal. That's right. Didn't he also? And
Yeah. He flies until
the stereo.
The stereo.
The stereo. Yeah, he shakes, and then his head pops off, explodes, and that's when he says, "Stereo death" or something. What did he say?
Death by stereo.
Death by stereo. Oh my God, his head. And then we get down to 1.
And that's when Michael
Dave,
went
yeah.
to run up the steps, and David he kept punching him in the face.
Right.
And then that's when you see Michael actually turn.
Right. You see his eyes. Yeah, you see his eye. The eyes lit up, and eventually you see the teeth come out.
He's like, I tried to make you immortal. He's like, you tried to make me a killer.
Then the fight was on.
They start flying around.
Right, and then that's when they get towards the moose horns.
Yeah.
You see that it was the moose horns, and finally, then they
Michael just picks up David and just impales him on the.
It's like right his stomach or something. Right comes. And eventually, of course, he's like turning his head back and forth. Then finally he dies. And then
what do they say? I don't feel any different. There must be one more.
Yeah, that's what Corey Feldman said. Yeah, he says there must be one more.
Right.
Well, first he saw. What was the son? The star's son. He was a little bit crazy too, because I think they were getting ready. They were getting ready to kill him. And he's like, no, don't come there.
The little kid who was dressed like Michael Jackson.
Right.
He's got the little.
Right. That's just like don't go near him. Don't go near him.
He's just a little boy.
He's just a little boy. Excuse me. And then then the mother the mother and Max, but they both come home.
Right.
They go inside. She's like, "What's going on here? What's going on here?"
That's when Max goes over and because David, I mean, they were his sons.
Well, that's when you find out, right? Because he goes over, right? Because he takes a look, and that's when he looks and he says, "Of course." Like, what did he say?
All I wanted to do was have one big happy family, like your boys and my boys.
And my boys, right?
Huh? He's like, I haven't changed my mind about you though, Lucy.
Right. Remember that's when right, you turn around, then finally you see his head pops out. Then you finally see him as the vampire. Yeah. And then who's the hero?
Michael pushes Max in front of the truck with the stakes.
Right, that's right. Because he fell back. That's right. The stakes were there too, and then the fire. And then there was
he blew up.
He blew up. Right. Then he had the fire. Got blown up. Yeah, blown up or melted. So he was. I mean, he didn't last too long as a full vampire. And then eventually Michael. Then finally,
he's pretty strong though, because you see how he threw Michael like way up in the.
And then finally you see Michael. Yeah, then finally he comes back to normal, and then and I guess the son's back to normal. Yeah. And everybody's back to normal. And then remember at the end too with Corey Feldman, he says to him, "How much should we charge?"
How much should we charge?
Yeah, how much should we charge? He says like in a whispering way.
And then one of the best parts of the movie, the grandfather goes,
"Oh yeah.
One thing I never liked about Santa Carla, all these damn vampires." Like he knew all along.
Right, it's like he knew about vampires.
Like, why didn't you just tell your family, hey, you know what?
One thing about coming to this place.
Here.
Right, one thing about coming to this place. Right, one thing about coming to this place, guys. I think I should warn you. I hear there's vampires that lurk around, and he never told them. I don't know. Maybe he thought.
But the one scene you see him outside, and he's carving the stakes.
Oh yeah. That's right.
I
You see
always
him on
wondered
the-
when I first seen a movie. I'm like, what's he doing? And he's carving the.
Right, I remember that scene. That's right.
Steaks.
Right. Yeah, it's funny. He found out. He found out there were vampires, but he never told the family. That's right. That was weird. But,
He was prepared though.
well, yeah, he was getting ready. Right.
Came
Right.
prepared.
Yeah. One thing when he came back though, he never said to the kid, never said to the sons though, like, I couldn't find that girl you were talking
Yeah.
about. Just to be funny. Yeah. Oh, I think she must have stood me
It
up.
might have been deleted parts. You never know.
Right. On the usually.
I've never seen any, but
Right, that's usually one thing about DVDs. Usually you find on the features, deleted scenes, extended scenes, or something. So. By the way, also we forgot to mention this was actually a request. By the way,
Right.
We had to apologize at first. We did take a while. We were having a hard time trying to find it, but we finally got it. So for our viewer that requested this, you asked for it and you got it.
yeah.
And there you have it, The Lost Boys, 1987. So
1987.
1987. Another,
And I also
80s
have the
movie.
soundtrack here too.
Yes.
I'm going to drop that down into the
Right.
description.
It's the soundtrack. That's the movie right here. As you can see, yeah, we do not have the regular DVD cover, so this is all we were able to give you for now. So
It's not really hard to find the Lost Boys. You can probably find it at Walmart for like $5.
right. We say this all the time. Walmart, it could be Best Buys, and again, Amazon. Check on Amazon. You can probably get it cheap off Amazon. That's usually how it goes when it comes to old.
This is
old
definitely
movies.
one of the best movies of the 80s, in my opinion. Yeah. Pretty good movie, great actors, and the one thing I like the music.
Right.
I like the clothes, and just the cast overall.
Right, and also too, for the soundtrack, I thought the other good soundtrack too, 80s of course, was Fright Night. If I'm saying it right, I think I thought we were talking about the soundtrack in Fright Night. We thought that was pretty good too, and also too with the Coreys, we forgot to mention too. They also did a TV show from 2007 to 2008 called The Coreys.
Right.
Didn't last long. It was only 19 episodes. That was one of the other things they did supposedly too, and of course.
Forgetting something.
Corey Haim. Well, don't forget too, and sadly, don't forget Corey Haim. Of course, he passed away a while back. So in the OD. Then, what were you going to say? I'm sorry.
But Corey Feldman also played in Friday the 13th.
That's right. He
Final
played.
Friday.
That's right. Final chapter.
Oh, the final
chapter. Yes, he was known as. He played Tommy Jarvis. Tommy Jarvis, and also the opening of Part 5, the new beginning. He was in the very beginning. It was like a dream sequence. If you remember.
Right.
Yeah, that was at the end. Right. Well, remember. Well, yeah.
That machete.
Right. At the very end. It was. Right, because Jason, it looked like he was dead, but you see like his finger moving. And as soon as he saw that, he pushed the sister away. And as I was saying in Part 5, he had the Small World tour where those guys were digging up his grave, and he wakes up and he sees Corey. Yeah, that third one was I didn't like that one. That was the one that had Arnold Vosloo. He played 2 and 3. He played Dark Man, and the first one was Liam Neeson, of course, and then the criminal in Part 3 was Jeff Faley. He was a villain in that one. So yeah, first one was good, but then 2 and 3 were just okay. So.
But yeah, so I mean we pretty much covered everything.
I think we did. We covered the movie. We covered some profiles on everybody. At least I don't think we left anybody out. We tried to give all the info that we can that we remember.
Even if you just look up Corey Feldman.
Oh yeah,
everywhere.
Right. I would go. Yeah, you can go on. You can look up the movie on Wikipedia. Go to web crawl, type in Lost Boys, and Wikipedia should come up, and it's got all the info on the cast and characters and everybody, so you can get your information on there. So you'll get all the info. So
that's the Lost Boys, 1987. We got the soundtrack here. If you've never seen this movie, I highly recommend it. Probably one of the best 80s vampire / comedy movies there is.
Vampires.
And but I want to thank you once again.
Thank you for having me once again. I appreciate it. Yeah, always good to be here. Yeah.
I want to thank all of you for give us requests. This is what we do.
Comment below if you got a request. Leave a comment below. Let us know, and hopefully we'll try to find it, and we'll watch it, give all our info about it. So definitely, yep, we are good.
Don't forget to like and subscribe. It really helps the channel. And as always, we will catch you on the next one. Peace.